The Enlightenment Chasers. Royalties of Peace. We are stealing the storms back to peace that has no storm while holding on to perfect peace. This is the Golden Age Podcast, episode 66 by Maris Free Lefang. It is October 15th of 2025. And Cameroon, the miniature of Africa, just had its election, presidential election, on Sunday, October 12th of 2025. Expecting a change after a long time of one role, president. Now 92 years of age. His Excellency President Paul Biya has been president since 1982, 43 years in power. Some might have claimed that it is the matter of the long term. But the real problem is the outcome of the development of Cameroon, which lies not in the hands of His Excellency President Paul Biya, but rather in the hands of our ancestors in amidst the now repose. The holy shrine cannot be rejected, even if there is a change of the president in this upcoming election results. It does not despise our expectation to respond to our ancestors, acknowledging our true origin of that age was on a journey to reach perfect peace, the greatest enlightenment. Along the way, meeting the white race might have been a surprise to us, but not to our ancestors. For we are all of one origin. The inner mist in which we repose, of one indivisible and in perfect peace, where there is no male or female, no child or adult, but eternity youthfulness with strength, irreversible, irreversible. When we talk about Africa, the main religions of Africa, popularly, we have the Christianity, Islam, and traditional faiths, and the few that surrounds it. Like branches from these three significant religions. The traditional faith is not really a religion, but called a religion is to enable us to realize that Christianity and Islam roots from the traditional faiths. Only from a mango tree can a mango come from, and neither can a mango fall far away from its tree. Cameroon, the miniature of Africa, revolves around Christianity and Islam. And the first president of Cameroon was a Muslim, His Excellency President Ahidjo. I might not have been blessed to be under his reign, but being under this one reign of His Excellency President Paul Biya in relation to the traditions of Africa provides all the expectation of the first president I might have missed. It is interesting how, if you enter a Muslim's house, you have entered the Middle East. If you enter a Christian's house, you have entered a Jew's house. These two religions are very powerful in Cameroon and have been the power in politics and the tradition behind the scene. Pleading with us to realize the Enlightenment is not about preventing us from innovations, but rather with the innovations, not miss out our purpose of returning to perfect peace. Let our innovations not mislead us to live in deserts, limited of our expected of being. The inner mist we must repose in. Acknowledging even the United States of America with greater knowledge in politics still face struggles and the need for dismantling important offices for a better. Interestingly, this is happening everywhere in the world today. They call for change, the need for change. But what is this change? History cannot keep repeating itself in the name of change. More of like trying to have a new design of a wrapper on the candy, but the same candy. That is not change. The young generation today really need to experience a true change. It is time to align our ancestors' expectation with our expectation. True, the inner mist knows no infrastructure or traveling or the physical experience, which we must not misunderstand to mean we should stay in poverty. not to forget our returning. But even while at the innovation and even flexibility of our physical life, we cannot either forget what the inner mist requires of us. The anxiety to lose the practice that will lead us to the place of perfection. The anxiety to live in mansions and find it difficult to return to the inner mist of void, contrasting each other. But perfect peace is the magic that exists in both sides that we must hold on to. The supernatural that exists to humanity is perfect peace, which seems like impossible to achieve. But the practice is what to return us to the inner mist without addiction unto the physical world. Cameroon's presidential house is called the Unity Palace, like the White House is to the United States of America. When we talk about palaces of every village that carries the traditions, though it is called the Unity Palace, we experience Christianity and Islam governing over the palace, which should be more traditions. We begin to ask, can a traditionalist become president in Cameroon? How can we reform the government to satisfy our ancestors? The African tradition, religions, might be of varieties like woodlikes, projecting from the main root, the inner sanctum, the inner midst we are and must return to, indivisible of the mind. Dismantling Islamic religion and Christianity is what is taking place in Cameroon. Understanding that a father cannot rest if his children are not appeased. The need for the sons to become united. The need for male and female to become of one mind. Of returning to the inner peace. A one-way street. That does not let any descendants to come into the picture. Time to educate the youths about our transforming and completing history does not despise the works of our forefathers. Neither does it despise the labor of our fathers of 43 years. We keep hearing the message of, we have lived a lie for history. But what is a lie? An incomplete journey is not a destination. There can only be a progress from here. The youth must come to their senses when listening to the seniors and elders of the Cameroon land. The same goes to every country. Let our words be reflected upon. Thinking out loud is not a crime, but let it be someone who can assist in completing the thought, still premature. Every premature thought must reach its maturity. What we call a lie is not an insult. It's not to despise our fathers and mothers, but rather to understand that there is progress and the youth are called to fasten their belts and complete the premature to maturity. The end is in our hands, and it's unto us to choose now. To live a life of celibacy and luxury. I have a dream. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. said, was not only for the United States of America, but for the world, multicultural presentation. Divided, but of one mind. The inner peace of no return. This journey must come to an end. Enough of the recycling when we are crying for perfect peace and freedom from mental slavery. Change of a president in Cameroon or not does not deprive us from the expected that is playing on our journey to eternity of no return, to despair. Call our 43 years a lie, but make sure you explain it to the young. It is only meaning the journey has not come to an end yet, and we need the end. So long we do not reach the end, we live a lie all over the world. We are not humans. We are not divided beings. We are not a multicultural world. We all know who we are, integrity. For a kingdom divided of itself is a desolation. Coming to our senses, we must seek wellness, educating the young ones of expected with complete knowledge to achieve the end goal with a worthy care plan of short-term goals and long-term goals, respecting the works of all those who have been before us. It has not been an easy journey with women still making descendants. Must we be able to educate each other to enter into the inner sanctum gracefully with celibacy and luxury. Let peace be our desire because it is our identity. We need not go to the ocean to know what a drop of water is like. When in a cup, it is sufficient. Peace steals the storm back to peace that has no storm, looking unto perfect peace. Thank you.